Good afternoon guys and welcome back to Mid-Handicap Dave and How to Warm Up.
Afternoon Chris, how are you doing?
Warming hands up. I'm doing very well, yourself?
I'm fine, thank you, yeah.
Perfect. Right guys, so last week you will have seen that we talked through how to warm up on the driving range or how to warm up if you've got a grass range, what to do. You're not doing too much, it was around about 15 minutes worth of warming up, which is, I think, is reasonable.
Even I could probably manage that.
Even Dave won't do that, but anyway. Now we're talking putting. So you've done your 15 minutes, you've got your contacts, you've played the first couple of holes. If you haven't seen, I'll tag the video above. And then now we want to do some putting. So one of the biggest things we see on the putting green is people don't have pace control to start with.
Or even over all 18 holes.
They've had a gallon full the night before, they're still a bit ropey, heads banging, and they've got no feel and no touch when it comes onto the putting green. So we need to do something for that when we warm up. So a lot of people will go on the putting green, okay, hit 3 balls about 20 hole, but you're more focused on holing it than getting it close to the hole. And for most mid-handicaps, like Dave, when we changed his putter and we did the work, well, I don't know what
Christ.
That's a good effort. When we changed his putter and we did some work on his putting, we saw that it wasn't 1 putt maybe that Dave was getting, but it was less 3 putts.
Yes.
And that's where you're going to save most of your shots, is getting those 3 putts down to 2 putts, and that's on pace. But how many people go onto the putting green and actually practice pace? They don't. They're more bothered about holing it, it's got to be perfect. Okay, we want to do a little bit of technique in your warm up, but the main focus for me is getting the pace of the greens. Whether you're playing at your home club, playing at another golf club, you need to know the pace more than anything.
Yeah.
That's going to help you save shots. So the first thing we would do is we'd get a nice short putt, so maybe 5 foot. We're going to use the shrinks and divide balls today. So I like to take 3 golf balls to the putting green. We're going to line them up as we normally would. So if you line your ball up, line it up. We're going to take your time in here. And what we're going to then do is Dave's going to come in here with his putter. He's going to set up to this one. Is it wonky?
I hadn't even looked. Yeah, it's missing a bit left.
It's way left. My bad. You set it up so it is actually facing the hole, which is always a good start, the centre.
Yeah, ish.
Better-ish. So Dave's going to put his putter in behind there now, and what he would do is make a reference of either side of the putter head and set 2 tees. So on the putting green you can spike them in, you can make them as close as possible, and what the focus is here for Dave is getting a centred strike. Obviously we know a centred strike is going to be key to distance control, also to starting the ball on line and also holding more putts. So David hits away at this one, he comes in, gets his set up, hits the putt, nice lip in, so Dave can take some feedback from that. In his finish he saw the putter face was a little bit closed, and that's where Dave's already figuring out about his technique. So we bring another one in now, Dave can check it's lined up. Any good?
That's slightly left. Again, that's perfect.
So make sure you take your time to line it up, do exactly what you do on the course, the same as we did when we played a few holes, go through your routine, and then Dave comes in, sets up, pulls the trigger there, much better, straight in the middle of the cup. Already Dave's been able to adjust.
Better.
Oh, I'm on fire now. 3rd time's a charm. In for the 3rd time.
It would have dropped.
It would have gone in without those. I'll give you that, Dave. Calm down.
3 in a row.
So 3 in a row. So there again, straight away we've worked on centeredness of striking. So we've worked on Dave's technique. He's got to work that putter through the gate. Make it as tight as you like, because then that's going to obviously make you even more precise, more consistent. So from there, Dave's happy with his technique. We're happy with the strike, it's starting on line, and we're holding putts. So ideally you'd be out on the putting green, but we've got no holes on the putting green.
And it's cold.
And it's closed as well, the putting green, because Richard Jones will complain, like he did the other day when I was on the putting green, but it was a bit warmer. So what I want to do now is work on pace. So what I would do is 90% of your putts are going to be in between 0 and 30 feet.
Yeah.
Okay, on average you're going to say 90%. You have a couple outside of there, but that's your majority. So what we would do is set up tees in the ground. So again, all you need for this is to go to the putting green with is 3 tees and 3 balls. And then all we would do is Dave's now going to hit from the back of the putting mat, and Dave would be here. Nearly lost it. So Dave will be here, and we're imagining that this putting green is now 30 feet. Dave would walk out, and okay, this would be 10 feet. This would be 20 feet. And the hole would be 30 feet. So 3 tees, have your golf balls in the same position. So all you would do is stride that out. It is 4 paces, 4 normal strides. And what Dave's going to try and do now is hit 3 golf balls to 30 feet, and 3 balls to 10. That will be 20, so that's a good start. So 3 balls to 30, 3 balls to 20, and 3 balls to 10. So really get an idea of his pace control. You can start whichever. You can start 10 and then go 20 and then 30. So on this occasion, we're going to get Dave to hit to the back first. So it's in line with these 2 this hole. So great roll. Actually hold it. I mean, we wasn't going for the hole, so that's probably more luck than judgment.
Who says we weren't?
Oh, I'm here. You were, Dave. You were. Okay. And then Dave would now come in, and he's trying to get this one in line or hit this tee here. Pretty good. And then Dave would go to the shortest one. Knocked it over. So Dave would repeat that now, and he'd go maybe and change the order. So maybe he'd go the short one first, then the middle one, and then the far one. So if you're on the putting green, you can either hit 3 to each target, or you can do random. 3 is good for when you're practicing, but if you're going out just before a round, you're better to just go 1 to each, see where they are, and then if you struggle with one, maybe hit a couple more to that one.
Okay.
So if you really struggle with 20 feet, you might hit all 3 then.
It's probably going to be the longer ones for me because I'm really struggling with. I tend to either pull or push the longer putts.
Yeah, so for Dave, he'd realise his longer ones, so he'd do, okay, I just need a little bit of a longer stroke and smoother, as opposed to maybe getting it quick and trying to guide it sometimes, which is what we see. So there Dave's worked on his technique. He's then been able to go into do some pace and start to find out, you know, what the pace of the greens are for the day, how he's going to react. I know a lot of people will always say that, oh, the greens on the course are quicker than the putting green.
It's like you've been there with me when we.
That's more of a myth than a fact. I think that's what people tell themselves just to make them feel a little bit better. Dave pulled a funny face there. Hopefully, no one at Garfield is watching. Right. So in this as well, okay, we've got 3 tees. We're going to put those out. Okay, if you've got a few more into your pocket, if Dave just stands that one back up for me, then what we could do is we could work on this as one station. You wouldn't have to move. So obviously at the start we had a 5-footer. We could do that here. So nice and easy. If David has got his distances out, so 10, 20, 30, Dave could put his gate here. So Dave could speed this up by ticking 2 birds or killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Set up the game drill so you're working on your strike and on your pace at the same time. From there you're able to go, he could do his first 3 to 5 feet, make sure he's starting them on line, and then he could go into his pace. The main thing there is we're not doing too many. I'm not standing there and putting footmarks on the putting green and hitting 10 to the same spot, or 10 short putts for the sake of it. Hit 3, Dave's hold 3, straight into distance, because this is just going to be just before you go out onto the course. So Dave, let's go from your gate and let's see if we can, you're going to try and hold it this time, not just sit it all up and do.
How dare you? Oh, robbed.
Robbed. So guys, different ways or a way for you to practice before you go out. So we've done your long stuff, we've come to the putting green, we've worked on strike, so we can either do it near the hole, and then we've worked on pace. We're not focused on a hole. I know he was on that last putt, and Dave was on the one that he holed by accident. But we don't have to focus on a hole. A lot of people get obsessed with hole inputs, the confidence goes, because if you stand on the putting green and you miss, you do a spiral, and I see a lot of people do putts around a hole, miss 7 out of 8, you're not going to the golf course with much confidence. Whereas if you go on a nice straight putt, hit some, working mainly on your stroke, getting through the gate, confidence is high, your strike's good, do some pace, and then we're going to reduce, like I say, the 3 putts down to 2 putts. Your holing out will get better because we've obviously done we've done a little bit of work on your stroke and making sure the face is matching up and it's square. So guys, hopefully that's helped you with a putting routine, something to do when you practice before you go out, and it's shown you that it can be quick, it can be easy, but it's also going to help you save putts, and that's the main thing. We don't want to waste time. There's no point going on there and having a chin wag with Brian,
Phil, Paul,
Stu. For any reason, you might as well just do this quickly, get this done, and then again on the first hole you're going to be ready to go instead of taking 4 or 5 holes to get going. So are you going to do that, Dave? That's the big question.
I am, Chris. Yes.
Dave is going to do...
New Year's resolution.
We'll believe it.
No, I will.
So guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. Hopefully it's given you something to work on, and we will see you. Well, enjoy your new year, or happy new year, because it will be in the new year, and we'll see you again next week.
Have a good one. Cheers.